ever try to like grab reality? It feels slippery,
yeah.
like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're diving into the tools we use to try to understand the world around us,
Oh, right.
models and metaphors.
Interesting.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophy lesson.
Yeah.
This impacts our decisions every single day.
Totally.
Every day.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So we're going
Yeah.
beyond just language today.
Okay.
We're going to explore how models and metaphors shape how we even perceive reality.
Our guide for this deep dive is an article called How Models and Metaphors Shape Reality.
Interesting.
And it's based on a book called Models, Metaphor, and Meaning.
Okay.
And it really...
Yeah, I'm familiar with that
Oh,
one.
you are?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it got me thinking about those moments when like a new perspective just clicks,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah, those aha moments.
Aha moments.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. Because of metaphors or models that give us a new framework to think about something.
It's like a key unlocking a door.
Yeah. So let's
Like
talk about models as maps of reality.
Okay.
We use them all the time without even realizing it.
I know.
Think about a subway map.
Okay.
Like shows you the stations, shows you the lines.
Yeah.
Super useful for navigating the subway.
That's a classic example of like
A descriptive model.
a descriptive model.
Yeah, it tells us what exists.
Okay.
But it leaves out a lot of the experience.
Like the smells.
The smells.
Yeah, and the crowds.
Yeah, the crowds, for sure.
Right. You're not getting that from the map.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a simplified representation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you have explanatory models,
Okay.
like Darwin's theory of evolution.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't just describe species.
Okay.
It explains
Yeah, it explains how they got there.
how they came to be.
Yeah.
Through natural selection.
And it's amazing how Darwin's model
Yeah.
didn't just organize what we knew.
Yeah.
It gave us a whole new way of understanding how species were related.
That's huge.
It revolutionized biology.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Then there are predictive models.
Predictive model.
Like the weather forecast.
Yes.
Have you ever been completely fooled by one of those?
Of course.
Like it says it's going to be sunny and then...
Yeah, it says sunny.
Yeah.
And then it's
pouring.
a downpour.
Yeah.
It's because predictive models are really powerful.
They are.
But they're limited by the complexity of what they're trying to predict.
Right.
And the further out the prediction,
Yeah.
the less accurate it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just want to believe that sunshine icon.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I know the feeling.
Okay. But then things get really interesting
Okay.
with normative models.
Normative models.
These aren't about what is.
Right.
They're about what should be.
What should be.
What people believe should be.
Yes, exactly.
So they're not describing reality.
We're prescribing it.
They're shaping our values.
Yeah.
And guiding our behavior.
Totally.
Like the article mentions the U.S. Constitution as an example.
Yeah, a classic example.
Right. But it's not just like...
It's not just these big societal things.
Yeah.
Even like waiting in line is guided by this normative model of fairness.
Oh, yeah.
And order.
It's true.
Yeah, and think about your personal values.
Okay.
Those act as normative models as well.
So they're shaping my...
Shaping your
choices, my
Right.
actions.
Your actions.
Yeah.
How you spend your time.
Yeah.
The relationships you cultivate.
Yeah.
All guided by these models.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talk about models.
Okay.
Let's move on to metaphors.
Metaphor.
Those linguistic devices that can just make the abstract suddenly click.
It's like that feeling when someone's explaining something complicated.
Right.
And they use like a simple analogy and all of a sudden it's like,
Like,
oh,
I get it now.
I understand.
Yeah.
Metaphors help us bridge the gap
They bridge the gap.
between the unfamiliar.
But the familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the most famous examples from the article
Yeah.
is Einstein.
Einstein.
Imagining gravity is the bending of space-time.
Yes. Such a great example.
Right. And that didn't just
It didn't just help explain
gravity.
It led to new discoveries.
Right.
In physics.
It's amazing how a new way of seeing something can be so powerful.
Completely agree. But we also have to be careful.
Yeah, the article does say
Right.
about relying too heavily on just one metaphor.
Yeah, metaphors can be powerful tools.
Right.
But they can also limit our understanding.
Right.
If we're not careful.
Like, for example.
The metaphor of the brain as a computer.
Oh, yeah. That's a common one.
Are you saying our brains aren't just biological computers?
Well, it's a useful metaphor
Okay.
for certain aspects of how the brain works.
Right.
But it leaves out Well, it ignores emotions. It
Right.
ignores creativity,
Right.
intuition.
All these things that are part of how we think and learn.
Hugely important.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do we know
Yeah.
when a model or metaphor is actually helping us and not limiting us?
That's where critical thinking is key.
Okay.
We have to constantly be evaluating
Right.
the models and metaphors we're using,
Oh, yeah.
thinking about their strengths and weaknesses.
So it's about being aware
It's about being aware, yeah.
of the tools we're using
Exactly.
and how they might be shaping
And how they're shaping our thinking.
our thinking.
Yeah.
And that's where it all comes back to, like,
It all comes back to
the individual rights.
to us.
Yeah. The article talks about how models and metaphors
Yeah.
influence everything from scientific breakthroughs
Right.
to just like our everyday choices,
daily
our daily lives.
Yeah.
Like in science,
It
challenging the existing models
is how we discover new things.
is how we make new discoveries.
Right, like quantum mechanics,
Yeah.
relativity.
Mentioned in the article.
Those came about
Yeah.
because the old models weren't working.
They fail.
They failed to explain things.
Right. And in
Yeah,
philosophy,
but it's philosophy.
using
Yeah.
metaphors like Plato's allegory of the cave
Yeah.
helps us grasp those like really complex ideas
Right. It makes it
about knowledge and enlightenment.
more relatable,
Yeah.
more down to earth.
Right.
Yeah.
Metaphors can make even philosophy engaging.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on like a more personal level,
Right.
the article talks about reframing problems as opportunities.
Yeah.
That little shift in perspective,
That's a metaphor.
that metaphor.
Can make a huge difference
Huge.
in how we approach challenges
Yes.
and build resilience.
So it really all comes back to this idea
It really does.
that we are constantly constructing meaning.
Constantly
With
through the
models and metaphors we use.
Yeah, and metaphors.
That's a powerful takeaway.
It is.
Right.
Yeah,
It leaves us with a really important question.
it does.
What models and metaphors
Are you using
to build your understanding of the world?
to build your understanding of the world?
Are they serving you well?
That's something for all of us to think about.
For all of us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.